Those aren't even boxing gloves. Hey guys, this is Justin and Ben at the Survivor Review, and today we're going to be talking about the latest film in the Rocky saga, Creed 2. Now this was a highly anticipated movie.
Yes.
I'm a diehard Rocky fan. I think I've mentioned that many times on the channel. You enjoy the films too?
Yes, I do.
And Creed, the first one, was such a surprisingly great movie, and I loved it. So I was really looking forward to this one, though very apprehensive at first, because of the fact that Ryan Coogler wasn't directing it or writing it. He just had executive producer credits. And the fact that the plot line for the movie is basically Ivan Drago and his son challenge Adonis Creed to a fight, and of course Creed accepts and they have to fight each other. Now, to me, that sounded like the plot line of like Creed 4 or something, like when they ran out of ideas. Or if the first Creed wasn't a good movie, and so they just needed to like milk a sequel. So I was like, you're doing this for Creed 2? What?
Yeah.
But the trailer started to win me over.
Everything's nostalgia. Gotta bring back everything.
Yeah, and that was my problem. I was like, but that's kind of what the point of the first Creed was, and they were going to move on from that, but they brought him back.
Can't move on.
Nope, I guess not.
Remake everything.
But I'm happy to say, the movie's good.
Yes. A lot of good. The first half was basic boxing movie.
Yeah, the problem with the movie is that the first Creed wasn't the most original movie, but it was very fresh.
Yes.
It was very, unique, and it was a really cool take on this. This one, it lacks the freshness of it. And this movie plays out like, basically Rocky 2 through 4. It's like a mixture of that.
Yeah.
And once it gets to kind of like the 30-minute mark and this like important scene happens, you're like, oh, I know exactly what every plot beat of this movie is going to be and where it's going.
Yeah. It felt like not typical, but it felt like a Rocky boxing movie.
Yeah, it felt like a Rocky sequel.
Yeah.
Whereas the first one surprisingly felt like the first Rocky. This one feels like a Rocky sequel.
Yeah.
But that being said, it's still entertaining.
Well, they almost kind of went just like the Rocky movies did. It was the first one was like gritty, realistic, down to earth one. Then this one kind of like amped it up a little bit with a little more flash, a little more this.
A little more cheese here and there. And you could definitely tell this was a Sylvester Stallone script. Because it was.
Yes.
And you see a lot of that in this movie. And I feel that's the major drawback from it. Because everything else about it's really good. I don't know the name of the director, but his direction is really good. Really good direction. All the performances are great. So it really is just the script that hinders it and kind of, brings it down a little bit. Which I'm not trying to, crap on Sylvester Stallone. I love the guy, but it needed a little bit more of a fresher take to it, and that's what I was kind of worried about when they announced that Stallone was writing it.
But on the other side of that, I don't know how much of writing he had on Drago, because Drago was the whole Ivan Drago. I keep saying Drago. That's their last name. So both Dragos technically, which is weird to say. That whole part is the best part of the entire movie.
That's the strongest part of the entire film. They took a character who was just a cheesy comic book villain and made him complex and interesting, and like I said, easily the best part of the movie. All the family dynamics between Ivan Drago and his son were so well handled.
Yeah.
I almost could have just watched the whole movie of that.
Yeah.
I would have really liked it if this movie was about the Drago family and the roles were reversed and Creed was the opponents.
That'd be cool.
I would have found that actually a lot more compelling of a story, because I found their stuff to be a lot more interesting than the Rocky and Adonis Creed stuff. And that's kind of unfortunate because they don't have as much screen time as I would have wanted them to. There's a little kind of middle chunk there where they kind of disappear for a little bit, and I'm like, cut it back to them. I really like them.
Yeah. The I must break you guy becomes the most diverse and so they had so many layers to them.
There was. I was just drawn in every time they were on screen. I was just surprised at how amazing their stuff was. And Dolph Lundgren does a great job. He actually gives a really good performance. And he's never been a strong, actor, but he does really good. And even the actor who plays his son, who is not actually an actor, he's an actual boxer, he was really good. Yeah.
Did not even know that. He was really good because he had 3 lines. No, he had more.
He mostly just had one big scene of dialogue, but the rest was kind of like Ivan Drago in the original. Just
it was
like
all his face.
Yeah.
His dialogue was just his eyes.
Yeah.
That's what his dialogue was.
Yeah,
And it was so good.
There's even a lot of that with Ivan too, especially like the opening. There's kind of an opening, kind of like pre-title scene, which I really liked. Like you start off the movie great, and Ivan doesn't speak at all in there, but you see all of it through his face and like his emotions and everything. And like it's a really compelling story of like this man who was like, you know, the hero of the Soviet Union, and then he failed and like no one liked him after that. And now he's living in like a dingy apartment trying to train his son to be the next champion. Like it's like you were saying, so many layers to it.
Yeah.
And it's just that stuff was great.
And they still didn't have too much dialogue either, though.
No.
It wasn't like, oh, he didn't speak before, and now here's his huge monologue on everything. It was still very concise.
Yeah, it was very well done.
We are not twins.
No, we're not. But that being said, the other stuff is still good too.
Oh yes.
There is stuff that kind of gets swept under the rug a little bit, like with the Rocky character. He doesn't really have as much importance to this movie story-wise, plot-wise, which is not a bad thing.
Yeah.
Like these movies are not supposed to be about Rocky, so I have no problem with that. But there is some stuff, like, especially like tearing off of where his character was left at the end of the first movie, that just kind of gets swept under the rug, like, yeah, it's okay, he's fine now. And it's like, oh, well then what's the point of that stuff from the last movie if you're just gonna move on from it that easily? But there's still some good stuff. I mean, of course, Stallone is still great.
Yes.
He's still fantastic and always still, like, Rocky is just, like, probably the most likable person ever. And he's still that way in this movie.
He's still like the older, wiser guy who's just like Creed's girlfriend. I forgot her name. He's getting into an argument with Rocky, and she's like, come on, come on. He's like, no, it's okay.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. Rocky's just like, don't worry. It's all good. I understand. Don't worry. And like he's still like the higher, bigger, you know, older guy looking over him.
Yeah, he was. All that stuff was great. Like all that stuff was really good, really well done. No kind of like huge dramatic stuff like in the first Creed. Like there's scenes in there where it's like, yes, Stallone should have won the Oscar for that. But in this one, there's really nothing like that. Just kind of standard stuff. Very well handled.
I feel like they gave more of that stuff to Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah,
He had a lot more with that.
He had a lot of stuff in this movie.
He had a lot of conflicting emotions and, you know, story, just elements that kind of like made his character more complex.
Like he was the main character, which is fitting because that's what it's supposed to like turn into. This is not like the Rocky reunion show. But
Mr. T is coming next.
It's Mr. T's son. This is gonna be Creed 3.
The third one, third Creed.
Third Rocky.
Yes.
We know. We'll write it, don't worry.
I'll write it. It is definitely written by Stallone because it's a lot family driven. There's a lot of stuff that happens, but it's about family.
Yeah.
Even with Drago stuff, it's about the family. And Rocky's about the family.
Yeah, it's kind of been like the theme of the franchise, but you can really tell when Stallone writes this stuff. He really hits home with those elements.
With those family elements.
And that's when the writing is the strongest. Like when you get to like the boxing stuff, it's kind of like your typical boxing stuff, which is still fun. And that's the thing is that like the way the movie's made kind of elevates the scripts.
Yeah.
Because there's two main kind of boxing sequences in the movie. Well, there's three, but there's only two real main ones.
Yeah.
And they're really well done.
Yes.
Like when you get to the boxing match at the end.
My heart was going. I was like, what's gonna happen?
Yeah, like I was like, I have a feeling I know how this is gonna turn out, but I'm like, I'm not exactly sure like how it's gonna get to that point. And then also like again going back to the Drago stuff, the way they played off the dynamic of those two guys, you at some points you almost kind of want them to win because you just like almost feel bad for them.
Yeah.
Like you have to step back and be like, no, this is the dude that like murdered Apollo Creed.
Yeah.
But you're still kind of like, oh, like this is their shot at redemption.
Yeah.
So I was also kind of conflicted during the final fight. I'm like, oh, you know, Donnie has to win, but I'm like, I kind of would have minded if Drago won.
Yeah. Because it's like a boxing movie where either someone's gonna win, someone's gonna lose, or it's like, you know, they lose by disqualification or they lose by just like the points or whatever because they make it through all the rounds. My mind, I was like, what are they gonna do different?
Yeah.
Like, who's gonna win, but it's gonna be not really a win, or it's gonna be a lose, but not like I was like, what is going on? So that's why that scene, I'm like, what's gonna happen? I don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, but also the scenes is very well directed. I mean, it doesn't quite match like what Ryan Coogler did in the first one. Like, I still think the fight scenes are kind of stronger in that one. Like, I mean, you have more emotional connection to this one because you're more emotionally invested in like both the characters, whereas the opponent in the last one was just kind of like a typical opponent. But these ones are still like intense.
Yeah.
And even like the training montage still gets you pumping and just gets you like ready for this.
Yeah. Michael B. Jordan does a great job. He's jacked.
Yeah.
But the other guy, now that you say he's an actual boxer, makes sense.
He's huge.
He's huge. He towers over Michael B. Not towers, but he's
very intimidating.
Oh my god, no way.
No.
You know, there's always the scene where it's like, I'm gonna do this fight, and everyone's like,
yeah.
Should you? And Michael B. Jordan's like, am I gonna lose? And I'm like,
well, look at him.
I'm like, do you not see this guy? You have to look up at him.
Yeah.
Yes.
Also, do you not know the family history? Like, murder.
Yeah. Murder. Which was interesting. It's not really a spoiler, I guess, but when Drago's just like sitting there on the sideline, keep going at him, beat him, and I'm like, okay, this is what happened the first time when you killed someone. Why? Ease up a little bit.
Yeah, maybe ease up a little bit.
I don't know.
I love the way this movie like legitimizes Rocky IV. Like it takes the cheesiest movie ever and flips it in like such a dramatic way. Yeah. It's like saying like if The Dark Knight was the sequel to the Adam West Batman show. That's what this movie is. Yeah. Like it totally legitimizes Rocky IV and takes every event in that movie super seriously and acts like it was this big deal. When you watch Rocky IV and it's the silliest movie ever.
In America.
Exactly. It's
coast to coast.
Tessa Thompson.
Yeah, she was great because she had to deal with a lot.
Yeah.
Because I always feel like I almost want to see a movie about the wife or the girlfriend or the whoever, you know, because I can't imagine sitting there watching a fight, watching the person you love just get like pummeled, blood's like just going, and they're on the ground. You're just like, get back up. I'm like, no, stay down, be done. Don't keep going.
Yeah.
So she did very well with that.
That's kind of the main focus of the story is them two, and like them like after becoming a heavyweight champion, how they deal with that. Kind of similar to Rocky 2.
Yeah.
A lot of similar plot beats from Rocky 2 happens in this one. Like the major plot beats that that this movie has in common with is like Rocky 2 and Rocky 3 are kind of the main ones. But you see a lot in there, but that stuff's handled really well.
Yeah.
And it does get me excited for a possible third movie. And with the way this movie ends, without spoiling it or anything, it leads off in a way that feels final, but kind of feels like a lead into like kind of leaving the past behind and creating your own legacy.
Yeah.
Like they say that a lot in this movie. It's like the phrase creating his new legacy. And,
who are you fighting for? What are you fighting for?
Yeah. And if that's where they go in future sequels, I'm down for that.
Yeah.
I really hope that's what they do, and I hope they continue on with more.
Yeah.
So overall, Creed 2, it doesn't quite match the first one. It's not as great as the first one. Not nearly. It suffers from just, being very familiar, and some of the plot beats not hitting very well, but it makes up for it by just being very entertaining.
Yes.
If you like
Drago 2, Drago 1.
That stuff is legit great.
Yes.
The rest of it's just solidly entertaining. If you like the Rocky movies, you're not going to have a problem with this one. You really aren't. If you don't like the kind of formulaic feel of the Rocky sequels, you won't like this one. But overall, it's entertaining. You get to see more Rocky Balboa. There's nothing wrong with that.
And I like Rocky Balboa as the older guy.
Yeah, as the older...
as the mentor.
Yeah, not as like the main hero of the movie, but the mentor. They do that stuff very well. Yeah.
Because everything Michael B. Jordan, whatever he goes through, Rocky's like, I've done all this already.
Yeah.
I've gone through all this already.
Yeah.
That was my father in the ring. Yeah, I'm the one who didn't throw in the towel. Like, what? We're in the same level here. I'm the reason why he died. So, what are you trying to come at me with?
Took an idea that I thought wasn't going to work at all and makes it work.
Yes.
And that's the best thing you could ask for.
Yeah, the idea of like, oh my god, they're gonna bring Drago back.
Yeah.
Is the best part. Like, I don't. Sorry to repeat myself.
No, I agree. That was the best part of the movie. That's the part like I'm still thinking about how great that part was.
Yeah.
So that's Creed 2. And that's about it for now.
Yep.
And until next time, we'll talk to you guys later.